Alaina from tennis. Hi, how are ya?
Hi, I'm great, thank you.
Good. I'm like talking to you right before we went on the record together, and you say you're getting ready, you're packing, getting ready to go on tour on the 24th.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by my whole closet is dumped out right now. And yeah, I'm a very nervous packer. So I start packing usually like 2 days in advance.
Yeah.
And no matter how much time I put into it, I always bring everything wrong and I bring nothing that I needed.
Are you more like a kind of like a warm weather kind of optimist where you just bring like t-shirts and shorts and then all of a sudden you see snow outside your tour bus?
Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Spring is hard. Spring
I
tours probably are
know.
challenging.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to give up precious real estate to like a down jacket and snow boots, but it's probably going to be a blizzard the whole tour.
Yeah. Well, you're starting out in Georgia, so hopefully that's not the case.
I know.
Yeah. So you're touring on your album Pollen, and I did a lot of research on the record, read all the reviews, and I keep reading that Pollen is about how the small things can have large consequences.
Hmm.
And it kept reminding me, for example, pollen is a very small thing. And I thought I would ask you the spring question.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of pollen, is one of you a sufferer of seasonal allergies?
Oh yeah, that's me. That's like I have a jacket that's embroidered like allergic on the back. It's actually a family affliction. Like my whole family, we have like a thread that's like tracking pollen count. So yeah, it's like I think it's the hottest thing about me is my allergies personally. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's super embarrassing. But Pat and I joke about it a lot. And the lyrics, there's a song on that record called Pollen Song, and it was the first that I wrote about not being able to enjoy this beautiful spring bloom because I was jumping ahead to how like tortured my allergies are going to be for the next like week or whatever.
Yeah.
And just thinking about how I like can't be in a moment that's like a good moment, without spiraling it out to what might happen that will be bad about it. And that feels like something that I realized that I wanted to spend some time unpacking that about myself. So that was kind of the entry point into this record for me.
Okay. Okay. I'm sure your family all has like an inside joke view on this album too, if you guys are trading like pollen
Oh,
counts
they
and such.
do. They do. They do. Yes. They were when I told them we were calling the album Pollen, they were like, no explanation needed.
Okay. And in all seriousness though, the album does truly examine small things having big consequences. You even mentioned finding meaning in minutia. I think that was on
Mhm.
your Bandcamp.
Yeah.
So do you two personally feel that that's a result of just growing older and becoming more aware? Or is there like another
Yes.
reason for that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, we started this band in our early 20s and now we're in our late 30s and things have shifted a lot and there is a lot of room for reflection, especially when we're releasing a new record, kind of comparing it content wise to, what I was writing about on 2 or 3 albums ago and just noticing how we've evolved as people. We do I do feel like more compelled by and tapped into like those smaller moments of life. And I think as you get older and you realize your life is flying by at like a rocketing speed, I do want to spend more time focusing on and being present in and appreciating those things. Like even like tour, it's like it goes by so fast and just trying to just stay present and experience it. Is definitely one of the challenges that I'm facing at this point in life. And yeah, it definitely is what I was interested in when we were writing this record.
Okay. Yeah, I think it can resonate. That's a good message for a lot of folks.
Hmm.
Slow down and enjoy everything. So you recorded and produced Pollen at your home in Denver. You have a
Hmm.
home studio, which I think is the coolest. So, what was the vibe of that space going into the recording process? And likewise, like, what was your mindset going into laying down these tracks?
After we made a record, several years ago with the now late Richard Swift. He's like a legendary producer and musician. And that was the first time we worked in somebody's home studio. And it was his converted backyard garage. And we would like work all day in his studio and then have dinner with his family in their house afterwards. And it was the most amazing recording experience. And after that, I told Pat I wanted, to build our own studio at home. Now that I realized how simple it could be and how um, edited, like you don't need to have like a 60 channel mixer and you don't need like every piece of gear on the planet to make your album. You only need what you need for your album. So
Mhm.
that's kind of what motivated the change. And since then, we've just been refining like the gear that we want. We also like to change things up because this is the second album. Oh, yeah, no, third album we've self produced and engineered. So we like to swap out what we use in our home studio to motivate different sounds, I guess. So we changed out a lot of our gear, a lot of our instruments, like we got all new keyboards. I play mostly keys on record, and it was really nice to not be reliant on sounds that were go-to sounds for me in the past. And so I had all new keyboards that I had never touched before that were totally foreign. So there was just a lot of exploration when we made this record that was really amazing and a big part of the writing process.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like there's definitely this presence of pianos and keys and synths on this
Hmm.
record, and it feels really refreshing. And like, of course, there's like guitar that comes in, but I always feel like drawn to the synths and the pianos mostly.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I really wish I was a guitar player. Like in my soul, I feel like I should be like a shredder, inner shredder. But
Yeah.
I just really didn't learn how to play guitar, so I've just been accepting I'm a pianist and, it's maybe not quite as flashy as guitar, but I'm just trying to lean into it. And then, those big guitar moments on the record are me pushing Pat. He often falls into a like producer engineer role on the record, even though he also plays everything and is deeply involved in the writing. He'll often, a big part of his contribution will be just like sitting at the computer and like crafting things with me.
Mhm.
And whenever I would push him to just like get the guitar out and whatever, then we'd have like big guitar moments on record,
Mhm.
which was really fun. But a lot of the rest of the time would be kind of him driving and me just playing keys.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It
Yeah.
feels very focused in a good way that way.
It's real. It's honestly been a really cool process of learning to make music with him. At first, we couldn't really write together. We're like double alpha, and we were
Yeah.
like not collaborating at all. So we would kind of write alone and then share with each other what we had written. But now, as years have gone by, we've established our own kind of working relationship. And for this record, we wrote literally everything in the room together, which was really cool for us. It was a new experience.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of new, fresh vibes for this record in general.
Hmm.
Cool. So going into tour, you do like a lot of key sounds and things are a little more produced. How does that translate to the stage? Do you have to like prep super hard to get
Yes.
your tour down cold?
Yes, actually, that's such a great question. A lot of what we do on record, I don't think translates to live. I still think live works best in more when it's like more of a bandy moment. Like we do use very minimal tracks that kind of fill out some ambient textures that we would need to hire like a fifth and sixth person to be playing, just some like ethereal pad or something. So we use tracks for that. But in general, we just want to stay a band like our roots. When we first started, we toured as a three-piece. So it's been quite a journey kind of exploring like how do we translate our studio production to live. And some songs don't really work, to be honest. And we will never know when it comes to adapting a studio album for a tour. We're often kind of surprised. We'll find out like one song that we thought was going to crush live. We're just going to be like, you know what? This is like a studio song. And it just, unless we were like full on backing tracks and I just like sang to the the album track, you know,
Yeah.
which we don't do. So
Right, right.
yeah, so sometimes in those cases we'll completely rearrange the song for live, or we'll just say, you know, it's its own song. It lives on record and not live. So
Yeah.
we'll find out. We haven't started the tour yet, so it's going to be quite an adventure.
Yeah, for sure. Then folks will be yelling out the name of the song you can't play from the crowd.
They will. Probably the one song that doesn't work is going to be the one everyone wants every night.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I know.
So we've been playing Let's Make a Mistake tonight for quite a while. Love the song. Would you mind unwinding the story behind the song lyrically?
Yeah, most of our songs don't start with lyrics, but this one I had lyrics in my journal. The "Let's make a mistake tonight, let's turn water into wine." I'd had the sentiments of lyrics written in my journal, and I liked how like sort assertive it was, which is like it's like very out of character for me. I would never say something like that, but it was kind of fun to like do something that felt like impulsive and against the grain of my personality. And then when Pat and I were writing, we were writing this chord progression and then this hook, that's the hook leading into the chorus for that song. We came up with that while I was experimenting with the new synth that we had gotten. I immediately heard those lines in my head because they felt like kind of tough, but also like hyperbolic. And the song almost feels like kind of campy,
Mhm.
like playing at a diva moment, but not quite. And so
Yeah.
the whole song just kind of came together in that moment.
Okay, cool. So what was the synth that you were mentioning that you were
A
using for
prophet.
a Prophet?
Hmm.
How do you
Hmm.
spell that for all the keyboard nerds out there?
Prophet.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Because I
Hmm.
love that sound.
Thanks. Yeah, it was fun to use. Yeah, before that we had used a lot of Juno, and then we decided to put that to bed and not use a Juno. And so it forced me to do something different.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. It's such a fun song. Um, so Pollen sound wise has kind of just it's got its chill moments, it's got its upbeat moments. Would you say I guess is it a little bit of a fickle record, do you think? Or do you think that there's like a strong
Yeah,
mood?
I that's a great question actually. I sometimes struggle to explain our concept behind a record, which is like it sort of reminds us of a mixtape in the sense that it can feel like genre hopping from track to track, but it's not because it doesn't have an identity. I think it's actually because Patrick and I don't like to linger in a certain arrangement too long. I imagine like this is such a bizarre example, but like needing to rotate your tires so that you like
Yeah.
the tread, you know what I mean? Like I don't like to wear out the tread.
No, I
It's
get
kind of a
that.
weird way of putting it. So like I just like I don't like to live too long in one kind of sonic moment. And then also the music that we listen to in our day to day is all over the map, like from eras and different genres. And I just feel like it pours out in our writing.
Yeah, for sure. It totally does.
Hmm.
I've taken note of all the covers you've done, which, is amazing. You've done the Carpenters and Broadcast and
A
uh
television cover. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yes. So yeah, you're rotating the tires all the
Yeah,
time.
no kidding. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I wanted to note that one of the really cool tour dates that you've got lined up is playing Austin City Limits coming
Hmm.
up in May.
Yeah.
Going into something like that, do you just like hunker down and watch all the episodes as much as you can to get like mentally prepared or
That's a great question, but no, I don't. I like to just do my own thing,
Mhm.
and I feel like the less influenced I can be by what the way other people are doing things. I mean, I feel like what works about our band is that we're pretty true to ourselves. This is such a cliche, but cliches are cliches for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, authenticity is the most important guidepost for like any artistic endeavor or just being a human. You know, people will like resonate with you and like want to know about what you're doing and be a part of that if you are being authentic and sharing something like an original point of view. And I think the less I am exposed to what other people are doing, the more I can trust what I would do myself.
That makes total sense to me.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So, as you head off to tour, you're heading to Milwaukee on April 10th. What
Mhm.
is one thing you'd like folks to know who've bought their tickets to the show? What can they expect?
Well, I think what I try to do live is make the stage feel like my own personal space that I then invite the entire crowd to join me in.
Okay.
Like I really love to be a host. I love having people over to our house, whether it's two people or 50 people, and I really like to make everyone feel welcome. So I try to imagine that I'm hosting an intimate party for 1,000 people. And
Yeah.
that's kind of it's been working for me so far.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I love little like mind tricks like that. So
Yeah, yeah. And
perfect.
like where everyone's there to have a good time and I'm the steward of that. I'm just gonna I'm the party chef. I just need to like help everyone just like mingle and relax and just enjoy themselves. And yeah.
All right. Well, Milwaukee, listen up. Elena's the party chef. She's gonna
Mm-hmm.
help you have
Mm-hmm.
an awesome show on April 10th. Tennis is coming to Milwaukee and playing with Kate Bollinger, which I think
Yeah,
is the coolest thing ever.
me
So
too. Yeah.
yeah, we're looking forward to having you here. Hopefully you have an awesome first leg of your tour. And thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah. Thanks for speaking with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.